You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, GH fans. I have got a huge General Hospital comings and goings update for you. There's so much to talk about, but the big news is Harmony and Nikolas showing back up. Oh my gosh. Let's dig in, talk about them, plus 3 other big returns and 2 looming exits. Hey, if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our GH updates. Let's dig in to the ins and outs coming to our favorite ABC soap opera. So the first thing I want to talk about is the one that shouldn't be sticking around too much, and that is Inga Cadranel, who is back playing the worst Port Charles mother of all time. That is Harmony Miller. Harmony showed up to warn Willow Tait about something. The lip readers out there on social media got about as far as me while trying to decipher her marriage. This is her message. This is what it looks like she said. You can't. I'm warning you, Willow, you can't trust. And then Willow woke up. That's kind of what I thought I was seeing. And I went to check soap Twitter, and that seems to be kind of the consensus. So clearly she was going to say, you can't trust Nina. So maybe we'll see more of Harmony back to haunt her daughter with cryptic messages about her biological mother, Nina Reeves. But just to be clear, Nina calling the SEC on Drew and Carly to report crimes they actually did commit does not even hold a tiny low-watt LED candle to what Harmony did to Willow. She let a cult leader rape her daughter, and not just once. It was ongoing systemic abuse throughout her childhood and young adulthood until she ran away from them. Don't try to make excuses about Harmony being brainwashed. She was an adult. She knew better. She didn't protect her child. And she was actually trying to kill Alexis when Sasha ran her down like a possum in the road. So I personally do not care to see Harmony for even 1 minute more. And I think it's the height of hypocrisy for them to bring back this woman to warn Willow about someone, Nina, who would never, ever hurt her in the way that Harmony hurt her. It's, to me, kind of disgusting. And I'm a little appalled that they have dredged this piece of garbage up for this storyline. And I'm not talking about the actress. She's a great actress. I love her. I think she's great. I'd like to see her doing a million other things, but I don't need to see Harmony Miller ever again. They can just drop kick her right out of this storyline because I don't need it. I don't know what you guys think, but I was just disgusted to see her today. And just, who thought this was a good idea? I don't know. All right, 2 of the other big returns I want to talk about. We also saw on Friday, Kevin Collins and his wife, Mayor Laura Collins. They are in Geneva following the money trail looking for Nikolas Cassadine. And that squirrely little banker gave them some info, but he definitely lied about other details. There's more Laura and Kevin scenes coming on Monday, presumably still in Geneva. And I don't have any spoilers right now for when they are back to Port Charles, but it seems like they are meandering their way home. So the other fun return I want to talk about before we get to Nikolas, which of course is the most exciting thing. But I want to talk about Rena Sofer's return as Lois Cerullo. She is back a week from Tuesday. We are going to see the Sassy City Girl in Port Chuck on October 10th. And I wonder if she might be the one to trigger Nettie Q. Maine's memories to return, because she is back the same week as Sunny and Nina's wedding, and everybody wants Nettie to be the one to get his memories back to blow up their nuptials. But Michael Corinthos might beat Nettie to the punch because he has made a contact at the SEC and is pushing for info on who ratted out Drew and Carly. I don't know why, though, that anybody thinks knowing the identity of the person who made the SEC report will get Drew out of prison. If you see someone stabbing somebody, say you see somebody that you hate whoever you hate most in the world, you see them stabbing someone else. You call 911 and you anonymously report the stabbing. Say that the stabber gets an unjustly high sentence, Say they get an unreasonably high sentence, and then they find out that you, the person who hate them, reported them. Their lawyer is not going to go back to the judge and say, oh, look, the person who anonymously reported the stabbing really hates my client. Can you reduce the sentence? The judge is going to, first of all, they wouldn't even hear it. They would laugh it out of the courthouse. That is a ridiculous premise. Knowing who reported the crime doesn't undo the crime. It doesn't. So if it works out, the only thing that can come of Michael finding this out is that he could tell his dad, Sonny, oh, you're about to marry the woman who reported your ex-wife and her boyfriend to the SEC. That's the only thing. It is not going to sway the court. So that premise, dodgy at best. So Nina and Sonny's wedding is supposed to be on his island. They are talking about eloping, which is going to make it a lot harder for someone to crash it and make sure that the wedding crashes and burns. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to Lois's return so much. I love Rena Sofer. Good job, GH, for bringing her back. All right, now to the most exciting return before we chat about the two looming exits. My jaw dropped when Adam Huss strolled into the banker's office in Geneva, Switzerland after his mom walked out. We were told his run was done. It is not. So I don't like being fibbed to in spoilers, like the comings and goings spoiler that the magazine produced, saying it was his last air date. It wasn't. And I'm glad. I am so glad that he is back. Adam Huss isn't my favorite Nikolas, but I'd still rather have Nikolas no matter who's in the role, even if it's not my favorite Nikolas. I'd like to see Marcus Coloma back, but if Adam Huss sticks around, I'm sure he will grow on me just like Marcus Coloma did. So that fibbing little bank dude totally knew where Nikolas was and could have given Laura more info. To his credit, banker dude at least told Nick, talk to your mother and be a good son. He said, be a good son and do the right thing. That's the quote. And Nikolas said, ominously, I plan to. But I think Nick's definition of being a good son and the right thing to do is horribly skewed. He has got that Cassadine conscience, not a regular human behavior barometer. I still suspect Nick's going to snatch his son Ace. Now that he took care of all the money from the Cassadine Trust, I think the next thing he's going to do is secure the next generation because he knows that Spencer hates him. So maybe he thinks, oh, fresh start with Ace, which is the same thing that Victor thought and why he kidnapped him. And that's why a lot of people in the comments here are saying, oh no, they won't repeat a kidnapping. What? Yes, they will. They'll repeat whatever they want to repeat. That's what soap operas do. Respectfully, that is what they do. They repeat tropes. That's why they're called a trope. So yeah. I hope that, however, Nikolas is still a better parent than Esme in the long run, I feel. So this also means that Laura has got to come back to Port Charles and tell her grandson, Spencer, oh, yeah, so your dad's alive, messing with the Cassadine money, but still running around on the loose and not coming back here to see you. Of course, Spencer will know immediately that his dad only came out of the woodwork to make sure that he didn't inherit the whole family fortune. So now let's talk about two exits I suspect are coming next week, maybe dragging into the week of the 9th, but I feel like their end game happens this coming week. That is Dr. Montague and greedy Gladys Corbin. Their time has to be up, right? So Thursday spoilers for the 5th, I had to count on my fingers, for the 5th say that Sasha is in danger. So no doubt Montague comes back to try and shut her up for good. He has scenes with her on Monday, but he leaves her alive for the moment, likely because there is too much police attention on it, too much heat, but he is not done with her. And then with her being in danger later in the week's got to be Montague, right? Then on Monday, Sam gets in a position where she can set up Gladys. She confronts her at her apartment. for having Sasha dragged back to Ferncliff, putting her at risk. Gladys is just the worst. I will not say that she's worse than Harmony. Harmony is worse because Gladys is doing this to her daughter-in-law and not her daughter. Still a horrible human, but not the worst mother as far as I'm concerned. Just a thought, just a throwback to that earlier conversation in this. So Sam keeps Gladys pinned in her apartment and cornered until Sonny Corinthos can get there, and he's going to let her know that he knows everything she's done. I don't think he knows everything, but he has a good idea of most of it. Nina spilled all the beans finally, and now Gladys is royally and rightfully screwed. For me, I would thank the GH replacement writers if Gladys and her poker buddy Montague left in body bags. Like a two-person discount at the crematorium would be fine with me. Sonny could toss them into the harbor. Don't care. So Montague might actually leave in a body bag. I really think if he comes back to drug Sasha, that it's going to, wind up on him. I hope so. But Gladys, I feel like, could be headed to Pentonville. Sonny's not really one to involve the cops, but in this case, he might, because the cops are already involved. Dante already knows. Chase already knows. I don't know if they have brought Mac up to speed, but I feel like Gladys might be headed to Pentonville, which would be very interesting because her story wouldn't have to end there because she's an old buddy of Cyrus Renault's. Don't forget that. They were tied together at one point when Sonny wouldn't give her money and she was like cozying up to Cyrus, and it was so creepy. That was back in the day when Cyrus gave Sasha the drugs that first started her addiction, like the charming individual that he is. All right, that's all my comings and goings action. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Please click a like if you enjoyed this conversation, and definitely drop your comments on this whole Nikolas and Harmony thing. How excited are you to see Lois back? Let me know what you think should happen to Gladys and Montague. How should they be exited off General Hospital? Thanks so much for listening, guys. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.